Hey everyone, welcome back to Happy Life, Better Life. Today I want to share with you um, some truth, some mistakes, or a mistake in particular that I felt like I made when I was trying to move forward from my situation as far as being um, separated after years of being married. So initially, my ex and I had decided, even though we had split up, we had met with our pastor at that time and decided that we were going to wait a year before we did anything. And in truth, I don't think that that was really beneficial um, for me. It may have been beneficial for him, um, but it wasn't beneficial for me at that point. But even once we moved on, probably after we had the conversation, like we had the conversation after a year, I looked into how much it was going to cost. And when I would look online and stuff like that, and things with lawyers and stuff like that, it just seemed so expensive. I just put it off. I didn't follow through with it. And my focus was more on just surviving, being able to survive, being able to make sure my daughter graduated college and supporting her. So I didn't get that taken care of. And probably about 3 years or so after we separated, I started seeing someone. And I had met them online. And I actually did have on my thing divorce. Like I said, this is probably like 3 years later. But the paperwork hadn't actually been done. But in my mind, I was not married. I was, starting over. My ex lived in another state and so forth and so forth. But that was a huge mistake. And so I admit it. And if you're already resounding, believe me, I know. I know. Um, so when I started seeing the person that I was with, it was a serious relationship. And then he realized that I wasn't actually divorced. And we had a conversation. He had a conversation with me, and he was talking about the fact that I was not fully free. And he said, "You may say that you don't belong to another person, but I wasn't really free. If he had wanted to marry me at that point, I was not free to do it." And when he explained how it made him feel as a man, to be seeing someone who was not fully divorced, and he was like, "There's either married or divorced, married or not married. There's no in between." And I know many of us, I know there's women probably saying, but this, but that, or whatever. I get all that. But from his perspective, I understood it. It was true. And if he were in the same situation, I would have felt the same way he did. If I thought, he was completely free and completely single. And so I went about the business of getting that handled and getting it done. But our relationship has somewhat been on and off at times. But I came to see how much damage that actually did. And so this is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did. Um, don't try to start anything new until you are fully free of your past. Don't try to move forward with that and just go ahead and get it done. I actually found out that the process was much more simple than what I realized, because we were not trying to split property. We were not trying to, you know, file for spousal support and all these kinds of things. I'm going to be honest, I just wanted a clean break, and so did they. So all we had to do is just get the divorce finalized, and come to find out, because of the state that they lived in, it was much cheaper and easier for them to file. And because we didn't have any small children, and like I said, we didn't have to do like any kind of child support or anything like that, we didn't have to worry about things that other people might have had to worry about. So it was really a clean break just to sign the paperwork and get it done. And it wasn't as costly as I thought it was going to be, but we both split the cost. And, this is what happens when you do have two people who are, willing to have the conversation, work together to get it done, and nobody's trying to cause any kind of confusion for the other person. Because I know it's not that clean cut for everybody, it's not that easy for everybody, and I get that. And I will say it took a while to get to that place. When our marriage initially ended and we separated, there was anger there. It was very hard for me to even have a conversation with that person, not because I was angry, but because they were angry. And it took time to get to the place where we could do that. So I'm understanding of that as well. But I just want to share that with you. I want to also answer a question that somebody asked me. And the question was, how do you, they ask, what would you say to a person who wants to just move forward and date casually? This is my response to that. This is just my personal opinion, but I'm going to respond to it. There is no casual dating. I know that we live in a world where people have sex with people and it's random and people hook up with people and all those kinds of things. But any kind of time that you're spending in conversation with people, you have to give of yourself in that conversation. You've got to learn about this other person in that conversation. You have to invest time. You might be investing money if somebody's paying for dates, if somebody's traveling, spending gas to go see another person, the simple things that you don't even think about. And the fact that you could have, you could have sex with somebody one time, and if you don't know that person well enough, you don't know what's going to come out of that. You don't know. If you're still able to have children, make children, or get pregnant, a man making a child, a woman getting pregnant with a child, it's not casual. You know, Spending time getting to know people to have a conversation, I would think you would at least do that. That's not casual, you know. But it's up for people to make their own decisions. You can do whatever it is you choose to do, but sometimes in that process, you could kiss a lot of frogs before you actually get to a prince. And this is something that the old folks used to say when I was growing up. They would say, some decisions take you further than you ever intended to go and keep you longer than you ever intended to stay. So you could be thinking you're doing something casual, but it could have some effects that are lasting. It could have some effects that could cost you something. So it's not really casual per se. My advice is to be careful who you spend your time with. It should be someone that you enjoy being with, even if you're doing nothing at all. If you're just having a conversation, if you're just sitting on a park bench, if you are sitting on the TV, sitting on not the TV, sitting on the living room sofa watching TV, you know, it should be somebody who's quality. And my thing all the time is quality over quantity. So in my mind, there's no real casual dating situation. It just means that you could be putting yourself in temporary situations with temporary people. And I don't know how beneficial that's going to be, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s. Guess it depends on what you're looking for. So some people, that might be right up their alley, but you have to know what you need and what you really want. That's all I want to share today. I hope you have a great day. Big hugs, big kiss, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, do those things. You have a great day today. Bye-bye.